Tom Blake wiped sweat from his forehead as he trudged through the dense forest of New Montana. The morning sun filtered through the trees, casting dappled shadows on the ground. As a ranger for the frontier outpost, he was used to long patrols, but something felt different today. The animals were quiet, too quiet. Base, this is Blake. Section 12 seems unusually silent today. Any reports of disturbances? He spoke into his comm device. Negative, Blake. Continue your patrol, came the crackling response. Tom shrugged and pressed forward, his boots crunching on fallen leaves. That's when he noticed the broken branches above. Something large had crashed through the canopy. Following the trail of destruction, he came upon a sight that made his blood run cold. A smoking crater scoured the forest floor. At its center lay a creature unlike anything Tom had ever seen. Its body was massive, covered in iridescent scales that shifted between deep purple and midnight blue. 6 powerful limbs ended in claws that could easily tear through metal, and a row of spines ran down its back. The creature was bleeding a strange, silvery fluid from a gash in its side. Tom's comm device buzzed urgently. Blake, our sensors detected a small craft crash in your vicinity. Approach with extreme caution. He was about to respond when his scanner began blinking rapidly. The readings made his eyes widen in disbelief. Base, I'm getting Vex biosignatures. I repeat, Vex biosignatures. The response was immediate and panicked. Blake, retreat now. That's a Class 1 predator. We're sending an extermination team. Do not engage. Everyone in the galaxy knew about the Vex. They were the nightmare stories spacers told. The apex predators that had reportedly destroyed entire colonies. No human had ever encountered one and lived to tell about it. Yet, as Tom reached for his weapon, the creature's eyes opened. They were a startling amber, filled not with mindless aggression, but with clear intelligence and pain. The Vex made a low, rumbling sound, more like a whimper than a growl. Tom hesitated. Every training protocol told him to eliminate the threat or retreat, but something about those eyes made him pause. Base, the creature is injured. It doesn't appear to be hostile. That doesn't matter, Blake. Vex are programmed killers. It's playing possum. Retreat now. Tom's finger hovered over the trigger of his pulse rifle. The creature watched him, its breathing labored. Then, slowly, carefully, it moved one of its massive paws away from its body, exposing the wound more clearly, as if showing Tom its vulnerability. I don't think it wants to hurt me, Tom whispered. Making a decision that would change the course of galactic history, Tom lowered his weapon and knelt beside his medical kit. The creature's eyes followed his movements, but it made no attempt to attack. I'm going to help you, Tom said, knowing the Vex couldn't understand him, but hoping his tone conveyed his intentions. Just don't eat me, okay? As Tom carefully applied a sealing gel to the wound, the Vex remained still, occasionally making soft clicking sounds. When Tom finished, the creature blinked slowly at him, a gesture that somehow felt like gratitude. Blake, report your status. His comm device screamed. Tom made a choice. Base, false alarm. Readings were off. It's just a crashed scout drone. I'll bring back what I can salvage. He turned off his locator beacon and looked at the creature. They'll be looking for both of us soon. We need to move. As if understanding, the Vex attempted to stand but faltered. Tom, against every rational thought, moved forward to support the massive creature. I must be crazy, he muttered as he helped the galaxy's most feared predator limp into the deeper forest, away from the coming extermination team. Behind them, the empty crater smoldered in the afternoon light, marking the spot where the impossible first contact had occurred. 3 days had passed since Tom Blake made the decision that would likely end his career or his life. Hidden in an abandoned mining cave deep in the mountains, he watched as the massive Vex creature cautiously examined the food he had brought. It's just dried meat and some fruits, Tom said, sitting a safe distance away. Not sure what you eat, but it's worth a try. The Vex, which Tom had started calling Rex in his mind, sniffed the offerings. Its amber eyes narrowed before it used one claw to spear a piece of meat. After a careful inspection, Rex consumed it in a single bite. "Well, at least we know you're not vegetarian," Tom joked nervously. The creature's head tilted slightly, as if trying to understand. Then it did something unexpected. It pushed some of the food back toward Tom. "Are you sharing with me?" Tom asked in disbelief. His comm device, which he kept on but silenced, flashed with incoming messages. The screen showed over 30 missed calls from base headquarters. The latest message made Tom's stomach sink. "All TERSONEL. Dangerous alien specimen ESCAPD worldwide. Possible human assistance. Ranger Beliki missing. Presumably compromised or DCEASED. Shoot on-site orders. For VX entitled." Rex made a series of clicking sounds, drawing Tom's attention back. The creature was attempting to mimic the shape of Tom's mouth as he spoke. Its own mouth, filled with teeth that could shred metal, moved in awkward patterns. "Are you trying to talk?" Tom whispered. Rex extended one claw slowly toward Tom's face. Every survival instinct told Tom to flinch away, but he remained still. The claw, capable of tearing through armor, gently touched Tom's throat as he spoke again. "You're feeling the vibrations," Tom realized. "You're trying to understand how I make sounds." Over the next few hours, Tom began the painstaking process of basic communication. He pointed to himself. "Tom." After several attempts, Rex produced a sound resembling Tom. "Close enough," Tom laughed, tension easing from his shoulders. When night fell, the temperature in the cave dropped. Tom shivered, his emergency blanket too thin for the mountain cold. Without warning, Rex moved closer, its massive body radiating heat like a furnace. "Thanks," Tom muttered, surprised by the gesture. "Still not sure if you understand me, or if you just don't want your food source to freeze." As dawn broke, the sound of hover engines echoed through the mountains. Tom peered out of the cave to see military transports scanning the area. "They're looking for us," he whispered. Rex made a low growling sound and moved toward the cave entrance, but Tom blocked its path. "No, they'll kill you." The creature stared at him, then did something remarkable. It drew in the dirt with one claw, a crude circle with lines radiating from it. "A ship. Your ship?" Tom asked. Rex made an affirmative click. "You want to go to your ship. It probably has better communication equipment," Tom realized. "But they're watching it." The Vex touched the dirt again, this time drawing a simple map of the mountains and marking a path away from the patrols. "You know this terrain," Tom said. "But how?" Rex pointed to its eyes, then to the sky. "You saw it from above. When you were landing," Tom guessed. They gathered what little supplies Tom had and prepared to move. Just as they were about to leave, a military scanner beam swept past the cave entrance. An alarm sounded immediately. "Movement DETTTE. VIX VIOS IGNATURE co-environment. Run," Tom shouted. Together, they burst from the cave as pulse rifle shots hit the rocks around them. Rex moved with surprising speed despite its injuries, with Tom struggling to keep pace. As they disappeared into the dense forest, Tom realized their escape had just made him an official traitor to humanity. Yet watching Rex pause to ensure Tom was keeping up, he couldn't bring himself to regret his choice. The forest of New Montana grew denser as Tom and Rex pushed deeper into unexplored territory. Military drones buzzed overhead, their searchlights cutting through the canopy. Tom's legs burned with exhaustion, but fear kept him moving forward. "We need to find water," Tom gasped, stopping briefly to catch his breath. "They'll expect us to head for your ship." Rex made a clicking sound and nudged Tom in a different direction. The Vex moved with purpose now, its injuries healing faster than any humans would. Tom had no choice but to trust the creature's instincts. After an hour of difficult travel, they reached a small waterfall cascading into a hidden pool. Tom fell to his knees and drank greedily while Rex stood guard, its massive head swiveling to track sounds Tom couldn't hear. "How far are we from your ship?" Tom asked, knowing Rex couldn't answer clearly yet. The creature scratched 3 marks in the dirt, then pointed to the setting sun. 3 days' travel. That's going to be tough with the military between us and there. Rex suddenly tensed, its spines rising along its back. Before Tom could react, the creature tackled him to the ground as a plasma bolt sizzled through the air where he had been standing. "Contact confirmed. Target and compromised human located," shouted a voice from the trees. 2 soldiers in combat gear emerged, weapons aimed. Tom recognized one of them, Davis, a security officer from the base. "Blake, step away from the alien. This is your last chance," Davis called. Tom raised his hands. "It's not what you think. The Vex isn't dangerous. It's intelligent. It's messing with your mind," the other soldier said. "Vex use psychic influence. You're compromised." Rex growled, positioning itself between Tom and the soldiers. Tom could feel the creature tensing to spring. "Don't," Tom shouted, unsure if he was addressing Rex or the soldiers. In that moment of hesitation, Rex made a decision. Instead of attacking, it swept Tom onto its back and leaped across the pool, ascending the cliff beside the waterfall with impossible speed. Plasma bolts hit the rocks around them as Rex climbed higher. Once they reached the top, Rex continued running, carrying Tom deeper into the mountains. Only when they were miles away did the creature finally slow, gently lowering Tom to the ground. "You didn't kill them," Tom said, staring at Rex with new understanding. "You could have, but you didn't." Rex made a series of clicks that almost sounded sad. As night fell, they found shelter in a small cave. Tom used his emergency kit to start a fire, the flames casting long shadows on the walls. Rex watched the fire with fascination, then turned its attention to Tom's pack. With one claw, the Vex carefully pulled out Tom's tablet and placed it between them. Tom switched it on, surprised to find it still had power. "What do you want to see?" he asked. Rex pointed at the screen, then at itself. Tom understood and searched the database for information on Vex. The results made him frown. "Galactic Class 1 Predator. Extremely dangerous. No communication possible. Kill on sight," he read aloud. "This can't be right. You're clearly intelligent." Rex made an urgent clicking sound and used its claw to draw in the dirt again. This time, a simple picture of a ship hitting another ship. "Your crash wasn't an accident?" Tom asked. "Someone shot you down." The creature nodded, then drew more, a rough outline of what looked like mining equipment, then several dead Vex. "Someone's hunting your kind," Tom realized. "But why?" Rex pointed to the mountains around them, then mimicked digging. "Resources. They want something in Vex territory." Their conversation was interrupted by the distant sound of hover engines. Rex immediately extinguished the fire with one swift movement of its paw. In the sudden darkness, Tom whispered, "We need help. Someone who'll believe us." Rex tilted its head questioningly. "I know someone, a scientist named Jack Moore. He was ridiculed for suggesting Vex were intelligent. If we can reach him, he might help us communicate better." Rex touched the tablet screen again, pulling up a map of the planet. With surprising precision, it marked their location and drew a path through the mountains, away from the patrols, and toward the distant research outpost where Jack was stationed. "Tomorrow then," Tom said, "we find Jack and learn the truth." As military searchlights swept the valley below, human and Vex sat side by side in the darkness, united by a hunt neither had asked for. The research outpost sat nestled in a valley, surrounded by tall electric fences and security cameras. Tom and Rex observed from a ridge as personnel moved about the compound. "Jack's lab should be in the east wing," Tom whispered, lowering his binoculars. "But getting in won't be easy. They'll have my face on every security feed by now." Rex made a series of clicks, pointing to the forest that grew close to the eastern fence line, then to itself. "No, absolutely not." Tom shook his head. "You can't just walk in there. They'll shoot you on sight." The Vex's amber eyes narrowed in what Tom had come to recognize as determination. It scratched in the dirt, drawing a simple plan. Rex would create a distraction at the main gate while Tom slipped in through the east fence. "It's too dangerous for you," Tom argued. Rex placed one massive claw gently on Tom's shoulder, then tapped its chest. The message was clear. "I can take care of myself." As night fell, they put their plan into action. Rex disappeared into the darkness, moving with surprising stealth for a creature its size. Tom waited, heart pounding. Moments later, alarms blared across the compound. Guards rushed toward the main gate where something had triggered the motion sensors. Taking his chance, Tom cut through the fence and sprinted toward the laboratories. The east wing was nearly deserted, with most security personnel responding to the distraction. Tom found Jack's lab and slipped inside. The room was cluttered with equipment and strange specimens in preservation tanks. "Who's there?" came a voice from behind a partition. Jack Moore stepped into view, a gaunt man with wild gray hair and tired eyes. He squinted at Tom, then his eyes widened in recognition. "Blake, you're the ranger they say went rogue with a Vex." Jack reached for the alarm button. "Wait." Tom raised his hands. "You were right about them, Jack. The Vex, they're intelligent. They can communicate." Jack's finger hovered over the button. "Prove it. You published a paper 5 years ago suggesting Vex might have a complex language based on clicks and subharmonic tones." Everyone laughed, but you were right. Jack lowered his hand slowly. "If you're lying, I'm not. The Vex I've been traveling with saved my life multiple times. It could have killed those soldiers yesterday, but it chose not to." A commotion outside drew their attention to the window. Rex was bounding across the compound, effortlessly evading capture. Guards fired stun blasts that the creature dodged with almost playful ease. "That's your Vex?" Jack asked, voice filled with wonder. "His name is Rex." "Well, that's what I call him." Jack stared at the creature's movements. "It's deliberately avoiding hurting anyone. Look, it could have taken down that guard, but it just pushed him aside." Tom nodded. "I need your help, Jack. Rex is trying to tell me something important, but we need better communication." The alarms suddenly silenced. A voice came over the intercom. "All personnel, secure your stations. Lethal force authorized against the Vex intruder." Jack made a decision. "There's a back exit through my storage room. We'll take my research vehicle." They hurried through the lab, gathering equipment. Jack grabbed a strange-looking device with a glowing core. "What's that?" Tom asked. "Proto-translator. I've been working on it for years based on recordings of Vex vocalizations. Never had a live subject to test it on." They escaped through the storage room, just as security forces entered the main lab. Outside, Jack's vehicle waited, an old research crawler with oversized wheels. "How do we get Rex?" Tom asked as they climbed inside. As if answering, something heavy landed on the roof. Rex peered down through the windshield, amber eyes gleaming. "Remarkable," Jack whispered. "It tracked your scent here." They sped away from the compound, Rex clinging to the roof with powerful claws. Miles later, they stopped in a secluded canyon. Jack approached Rex cautiously, translator in hand. "May I?" he asked, gesturing toward the device. Rex examined the translator, then nodded. Jack activated it, and the device emitted a series of complex clicks and tones. Rex's eyes widened. It responded with its own sequence of sounds. The translator processed, then spoke in a mechanical voice. "Long time waiting. Someone listen. Humans different than told." Tom and Jack exchanged stunned glances. "We're just getting started," Jack said, eyes bright with excitement. "Ask your friend what really brought him to our planet." Rex clicked again, and the translator conveyed words that would change everything. Warning: my people hunted. Your people next. Jack's canyon hideout was well stocked with supplies and equipment. While Tom prepared a simple meal, Jack fine-tuned the translator, making adjustments as Rex patiently clicked and growled. Try now, Jack said, setting the device between them. Rex's series of clicks translated into choppy but understandable speech. My ship, shot down. Not accident. Hunting us for many seasons. Who's hunting you? Tom asked. Humans with symbol. Rex scratched a design in the dirt. A hexagon with a pickaxe. Jack's face paled. That's the Galactic Mining Consortium logo. The mining company. Tom frowned. What would they want with Vex? Rex's next clicks came faster. We protect worlds. Rich worlds. They want metals. Kill us to take. Jack pulled out his tablet and showed Rex images of various planets. Which worlds? Rex pointed to several, including one that made Jack gasp. That's LS-728, Jack explained. The consortium has been trying to get mining rights there for years, but it was classified as protected due to dangerous native fauna. Vex, presumably. So they're killing Vex to remove the protection classification. Tom asked. Rex nodded, then added, not just kill. Make others fear us. Tell lies. The translator struggled with Rex's next complex series of sounds, but the message became clear. The consortium had been systematically distorting information about Vex for decades, portraying them as mindless killers to justify their extermination. We are guardians, Rex explained. Ancient task. Protect worlds with heart metal. Heart metal? Jack asked. I think he means core elements, Tom suggested. Rare metals essential for advanced technology. Rex confirmed with a nod. Vex no balance. Take small. Grow slow. Humans take all. Kill world. Jack ran his hands through his wild hair. This is bigger than I imagined. The consortium controls most of the information networks. They'd been feeding false data about Vex encounters for years. We need proof, Tom said. Something concrete to take to the Galactic Council. Rex's eyes glowed brighter. Have proof. In my ship. Records of attacks. Many cycles. Tom nodded decisively. Then we go to your ship. As they packed supplies into Jack's crawler, a small drone buzzed overhead. Jack spotted it first. Down, he shouted, pulling Tom behind the vehicle as the drone fired a targeting laser. Rex leaped, snatching the drone from the air and crushing it in powerful claws. They found us, Tom said. But how? Jack examined the crushed drone. Tracking device. It must be on one of us. He ran a scanner over their equipment and found a tiny blinking dot on his translator. It's in my device. They must have tagged all my research equipment. In the distance, the sound of approaching vehicles grew louder. We need to move now, Tom urged. How far to your ship, Rex? Rex pointed northeast. 1 day. Mountains protect. They abandoned Jack's crawler, taking only essential supplies and the translator. Rex led them through narrow canyon passages too small for vehicles, forcing their pursuers to follow on foot. As night fell, they reached a steep cliff face. Rex began climbing, using its claws to create handholds in the rock. Tom and Jack followed with more difficulty. Almost there, Jack wheezed as they neared the top. I haven't done this much exercise in 20 years. Suddenly, a shot rang out. Jack cried in pain as a bullet grazed his arm. Tom looked down to see figures in consortium security uniforms scaling the cliff after them. Keep climbing, Tom shouted, helping Jack upward. When they reached the top, Rex surprised them by lifting a camouflaged panel, revealing the hidden cave entrance. They scrambled inside just as more shots hit the rocks around them. Rex sealed the entrance with a boulder, blocking their pursuers temporarily. The cave extended deep into the mountain, eventually opening into a larger chamber. There, partially buried under rock and dirt, sat Rex's ship, sleek, alien, and clearly damaged. "Your ship survived," Tom said with relief. Rex approached a panel and placed one claw against it. Lights flickered to life inside the vessel. "Records here," Rex clicked. "Truth here." Jack examined the entry wound. "We don't have much time. Those consortium forces will find another way in." Rex touched another panel, and a holographic display appeared, showing dozens of Vex ships being attacked by consortium vessels. The evidence was unmistakable. "This is it," Tom said, downloading the data to his tablet. "This is how we expose them." A distant explosion echoed through the cave. Their pursuers had found another entrance. "No time," Rex clicked urgently. "Must prepare." The Vex activated the ship's defense systems as Tom and Jack took cover. The final confrontation was about to begin, with the truth of an interstellar conspiracy hanging in the balance. Blaster fire echoed through the cave as consortium forces breached the outer chamber. Tom and Jack crouched behind Rex's damaged ship, weapons ready but hopelessly outnumbered. "We can't fight our way out of this," Tom whispered. Rex clicked rapidly into the translator. "Ship communications still work. Can broadcast truth." Jack's eyes widened. "The Council frequency. If we can send this evidence directly to the Galactic Council chambers during open session, they'll have to respond." "Is that possible?" Tom asked. Rex moved to the ship's control panel, claws flying over strange symbols. The ship hummed to life, lights flickering across its damaged hull. "Power low," Rex explained. "One chance." Jack connected his tablet to the ship's system. "I'm formatting the data for Council protocols. We'll need a direct eyewitness account to accompany it." Tom nodded grimly. "I'll do it. I've seen enough to testify." The cave shook as the consortium forces set charges to clear the rubble between chambers. They had minutes at most. "Ready," Jack said, positioning the ship's camera to focus on Tom. Tom took a deep breath as the recording began. "My name is Ranger Tom Blake of New Montana. What you've been told about the Vex species is a lie perpetrated by the Galactic Mining Consortium to justify genocide for profit." As Tom spoke, Rex prepared the ship's remaining weapon systems. Jack monitored the upload progress. The connection was slow but holding. "The Vex are not mindless killers," Tom continued. "They are intelligent guardians of worlds rich in resources that would be destroyed by aggressive mining. I've lived alongside one for days. I've seen its compassion, its intelligence, and its restraint in the face of violence." The charges exploded, creating an opening to their chamber. Consortium soldiers began pouring through. "Finish the upload," Tom shouted, firing his blaster to provide cover. Rex moved with blinding speed, positioning itself between the soldiers and the ship. Instead of attacking, the massive creature simply stood tall, amber eyes glowing, claws retracted. "Hold your fire," Tom called out. "Look at it. Is this the mindless killer you were told about?" Some soldiers hesitated, weapons wavering. 60% uploaded, Jack reported. A consortium commander pushed through the ranks. "Kill the beast. That's an order." When his men hesitated, he fired his own weapon. The shot hit Rex in the shoulder, causing the creature to stagger, but still not attack. 80%, Jack called. Tom stepped beside Rex, weaponless now. "Every moment you don't fire is proof they've lied to you. This creature could kill us all, but it chooses not to." The commander raised his weapon again, this time aiming at Tom. "You're a traitor to your species, Blake. And you're a pawn in a corporate genocide," Tom replied. Before the commander could fire, a strange sound echoed through the cave, a harmonious thrumming that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. The soldiers looked around in confusion as the cave walls began to vibrate. Rex's head lifted, amber eyes bright with recognition. "What's happening?" Tom asked. Rex clicked rapidly. "Others come. Heard call." The ship's communications had done more than reach the Council. It had reached other Vex. 100%, Jack announced triumphantly. Transmission complete. The cave ceiling cracked open as something massive tore through the mountain from above. Daylight streamed in, along with 3 enormous shades. Vex, larger than Rex, descending into the chamber. The soldiers broke ranks, some fleeing, others simply staring in awe as the newcomers landed with surprising grace. Not one of the Vex made an aggressive move. On Jack's tablet, a response flashed from the Galactic Council. Emergency CSSION, SIGO VNED. Consortium Operations, SUSND, HENDLING, Investigation. Protection Order for VEX, Witini SEs, and Human allies. The commander, seeing his men would no longer follow orders, threw down his weapon in disgust. This isn't over, he snarled before retreating. Rex approached the other Vex, exchanging complex series of clicks and rumbles. Then it returned to Tom's side. My kin, the translator conveyed. First contact team. Hidden long. Watching humans. Hoped for friend. Tom placed his hand on Rex's uninjured shoulder, a gesture now familiar between them. They found one. Jack's tablet continued receiving messages from across the galaxy. News of the broadcast spreading, consortium stock plummeting, and dozens of reports coming in from remote outposts where humans had encountered Vex but kept it secret, fearing ridicule or worse. We did it, Jack said, voice filled with wonder. We actually did it. Rex looked up through the opening in the cave ceiling, to the stars now visible in the darkening sky. Beginning only, the translator conveyed. Much to repair. Tom nodded, watching as humans and Vex cautiously began to interact in the cave chamber, curiosity overcoming fear on both sides. And we'll do it together. 1 month after the cave standoff, Tom Blake stood before the Galactic Council chambers. The enormous circular hall was filled to capacity, with representatives from over 200 worlds in attendance. Most remarkable, however, was the delegation seated to Tom's right. 5 Vex, with Rex at their center. The evidence is conclusive, announced the council chairperson, a stern woman from the Pleiades colonies. The Galactic Mining Consortium, engaged in deliberate falsification of data regarding the Vex species, as well as illegal military actions resulting in what can only be termed attempted genocide. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. On the viewing screens above, footage played of consortium ships attacking Vex vessels unprovoked. The recordings from Rex's ship had been authenticated by multiple independent sources. Furthermore, the chairperson continued, we recognize the Vex as a fully sentient species with all rights and protections thereof. Their role as ecological guardians of resource-rich worlds is now acknowledged and protected under galactic law. The lead consortium executive, now in custody, stared blankly ahead as the charges against him were read. His empire had crumbled in weeks as investors fled and whistleblowers came forward with additional evidence of crimes spanning decades. When it was Tom's turn to speak, he approached the podium with Rex by his side. The translation device Jack had refined now hung around Rex's neck, allowing seamless communication. 1 month ago, I was just a ranger doing my job, Tom began. I had the same fears and misconceptions about the Vex as everyone else. Now I stand before you as living proof that everything we thought we knew was wrong. He gestured to Rex. This isn't a mindless predator. This is a being with intelligence, emotions, and a culture older than human spaceflight. The Vex have been protecting worlds from exploitation long before we reached the stars. Rex stepped forward, imposing yet gentle. The chamber fell silent as the translator conveyed the Vex's words. We watched humans grow, spread to stars, hoped for contact when ready. Some humans took, destroyed, killed. We withdrew, watched from shadows, until Tom showed different path. The simple words carried powerful meaning. Several council members nodded in understanding. After the formal proceedings, Tom found himself in a quieter chamber with Rex and Jack Moore, whose work on the translator had earned him rehabilitation in the scientific community. Jack was busy taking notes as a Vex elder shared information about their history. "So what happens now?" Tom asked Rex. "Learn together," Rex clicked. "Teach balance. Share worlds." Jack looked up from his notes. "The Council has approved my proposal for a joint research initiative. We'll establish communication protocols between our species, cultural exchange, the works." Tom smiled. "And they want us to lead it. Ambassador Blake has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?" Jack grinned. Rex made a sound that Tom had recently learned was laughter. First friends, now partners. Through the window, Tom could see ships arriving at the Council station, more Vex vessels emerging from hiding, along with human ships coming to meet them peacefully for the first time. The next day, Tom stood with Rex at the loading bay of a sleek new ship, a joint human-Vex design created specifically for their mission. "The Vex homeworld has been hidden for centuries," Jack said, checking his equipment. "We'll be the first humans to ever see it." Rex's amber eyes gleamed with what Tom now recognized as pride. Home beautiful, different, sacred. As they boarded the ship, Tom took one last look at the Council station. News screens everywhere showed the story of the human ranger and the Vex who had changed galactic history. Already, the images of Vex had shifted in public perception, from monsters to mysteries. "Ready?" Tom asked his companions. Rex placed one massive claw gently on Tom's shoulder, a gesture that had once terrified him, but now felt like friendship. "Begin journey," Rex clicked. "Not end." The ship lifted off smoothly, carrying them toward a future neither species could have imagined 1 month earlier. Behind them, human and Vex delegations continued the work of building peace. Ahead lay the Vex homeworld, and a new chapter in galactic cooperation. As stars streaked past the viewports, Tom thought about how a single choice, to help rather than harm, had altered the course of history. The galaxy's most feared predator had become humanity's most important ally, all because one ranger had seen past fear to the truth. In the vastness of space, a new understanding had been born, and it had all started with an injured Vex and a human who chose compassion over fear.